The Hickey was small, dark purple, right there on her collarbone where her shirt had shifted during dinner. I noticed it from across the table at Olive Garden during our usual Thursday night date, and in that instant it felt like gravity tilted, like everything familiar slid half an inch out of place. The restaurant noise blurred into a dull hum while my focus locked onto that mark. My chest tightened, not from anger at first, but from a quiet, creeping disbelief. "What's that?" I asked, careful to keep my tone even like I was commenting on the weather. Lisa's hand shot up to her neck so quickly it almost knocked her glass. "What's what?" she said, too casually. "That mark on your collarbone." She glanced down, hesitated for a fraction of a second, then forced a laugh. "Oh my God, Jake, it's a bruise. I bumped into the cabinet at work." "That's not a bruise." Her smile thinned, the warmth draining out of her expression. "Are you seriously doing this right now in public? That's a Hickey, Lisa." "It's not." Her voice sharpened, rising just enough to pull the attention of the couple seated beside us. "You're being paranoid. You're overreacting." That word, overreacting, it had become a familiar shield she raised whenever my questions got too close to something she didn't want examined. Every time I asked why she was coming home later than usual, every time I noticed a new lock screen password she couldn't remember, every time a small inconsistency surfaced and I dared to point at it. "You're overreacting, Jake." I looked at her across the breadsticks and salad bowl, and something inside me didn't break, didn't flare up, didn't explode. It cooled, it sharpened, it settled into a quiet, steady certainty. "Okay," I said softly, "maybe I am." I took my phone out of my pocket and placed it carefully on the table between us, aligning it with the edge like I needed the symmetry. But before I apologize for overreacting, I want you to listen to something. Her color drained so fast it was like someone dimmed a light behind her skin. "What?" I pressed play. Her voice spilled into the space between us, soft and intimate in a way I hadn't heard directed at me in months. Words meant for someone else. Confessions wrapped in breath and laughter that made the world around us seem to freeze. "I can't stop thinking about last night. When can we do it again? He's working late tomorrow. I'll tell him it's book club." The recording lasted 47 seconds. I let it play all the way through, every syllable, every pause. When it ended, the silence pressed down, heavy and suffocating. Lisa's lips parted, then closed, then parted again like she was searching for air or an explanation. "Where did you get that?" I met her gaze without blinking. "You left it on the wrong voicemail." If you want to know whose voicemail she accidentally called and how one wrong number destroyed her entire story, hit subscribe, because what I did next made her lawyer call me a genius. My name is Jake Morrison. I'm 39 years old, and I'm a logistics coordinator for a shipping company in Phoenix, Arizona. Not glamorous, not exciting, just steady work, decent pay, and a routine that kept life predictable. I've been married to Lisa for 11 years. We met at a friend's barbecue back in 2012. She was a dental hygienist with an easy laugh, the kind of person who made strangers feel included within minutes. We dated for 2 years before getting married in a small ceremony in Sedona. Later, we bought a 3-bedroom house in Chandler, complete with a backyard we barely used and a mortgage that felt manageable enough to ignore. For a long time, our life was simple in the best way. We built routines: Thursday date nights, Sunday grocery runs, summer visits to California to see her parents. We talked about having kids someday. Soon, we'd say, when things settle down. They never quite did, but we convinced ourselves that was fine. We had stability. We had each other. Or at least, I believed we did. The changes didn't arrive like a storm. They crept in quietly. About 8 months ago, Lisa joined a book club, Thursday evenings from 7 to 9 at a friend's house. "It's nice to have something that's just mine," she told me. I understood that. I had my softball league. She deserved her own space too. Then the book club meetings began stretching later. 9 became 10, 10 drifted toward 11. "We just get caught up talking," she'd say. "You know how women are." I didn't challenge it. I didn't want to be that suspicious husband. Then her relationship with her phone shifted. She used to leave it anywhere, unlocked, unattended. Suddenly, it was always face down, always tucked into her purse, always secured by a new passcode she claimed she forgot. When I asked about it, she snapped, "Why do you need to get into my phone? Don't you trust me?" That question was a trap disguised as innocence.
Say yes and ignore the doubt gnawing at you. Say no and become the villain. I said yes, but belief had already begun to erode. Then came the late work nights. Lisa worked at a dental office with predictable hours, 8 to 5. Occasionally, they'd stay late for a patient, but it was rare. Suddenly, late appointments became routine. Dr. Ramos is trying to accommodate more people, she explained. It's good for business. 3 nights a week? I asked once. Jake, don't start. I'm not starting. I'm asking. You're always asking, always questioning. It's exhausting. And just like that, the focus shifted. My curiosity became the problem, not the inconsistencies. I stopped pushing, but I started noticing. I'm not a detective, not some tech wizard who can hack passwords or track locations, but I pay attention. Patterns reveal themselves if you let them.
Every Thursday, she came home smelling like wine and a perfume that wasn't hers. Heavier, more expensive. Her late work nights conveniently aligned with my early morning shifts, and her phone, the constant companion, went everywhere with her, even into the bathroom when she showered. One evening, it buzzed on the counter while she was in the garage. I glanced at the screen without touching it. A text from Rachel. Can't wait for Thursday. Same place. Rachel was supposed to be a book club friend, but something about that message felt rehearsed, coded. I didn't open it. I didn't pry. I just remembered. The Hickey was the moment everything stopped being subtle. We were at Olive Garden, continuing a routine that suddenly felt staged. She was talking about work, about expansion plans, about the future like nothing had changed. She leaned forward for the breadsticks, and her collar shifted. That mark appeared like evidence surfacing from water. My thoughts stumbled, trying to reject what my eyes recognized instantly. "What's that?" I asked, pointing. Her hand flew to her neck. "What?" "That mark." She glanced down, dismissed it with a casual wave. "Oh, that... I bumped into the cabinet at work. The corner caught me weird." I watched her, studying every detail of her expression. That wasn't a bruise. Bruises don't look like that. That was a Hickey, and she was lying directly to me without hesitation. "That's not a bruise," I said quietly. "Yes, it is," she tugged her shirt higher. "You're being paranoid." "Lisa, Jake, stop." Her voice hardened. "I'm not doing this. Not here." "Doing what?" "This interrogation. These accusations. I bumped into something, that's all." "That's a Hickey." Her eyes flashed with anger. "It's not, and I'm not going to sit here and be accused of something I didn't do." She stood abruptly, grabbed her purse, and pushed her chair back. "I'm going to the bathroom. When I get back, I want you to apologize." She walked away, heels tapping sharply against the tile, leaving me alone with untouched breadsticks and a certainty that no longer needed proof. I sat there, staring at the table, feeling the weight of realization settle into something solid and undeniable. And that's when I remembered the voicemail. 3 days earlier, I'd gotten a notification on my phone, a voicemail from an unknown number. I almost deleted it. I get spam calls all the time, but something made me listen. The message started mid-sentence, like someone had pocket-dialed me. At first, it was just muffled sounds, movement, fabric rustling. Then, I heard her voice, Lisa's voice. "I can't stop thinking about last night." My blood went cold. "God, you're amazing. When can we do it again?" I sat frozen, phone pressed to my ear as my wife's voice, breathy, intimate, filled my head. "He's working late tomorrow night. I'll tell him it's book club. We'll have plenty of time." The message cut off. 47 seconds total. I played it again and again, each time hoping I'd misheard, hoping it was some kind of mistake. But it wasn't. That was Lisa talking to someone who wasn't me, planning to see him while I was at work. I saved the message, forwarded it to my email, backed it up to the cloud, and I waited. When Lisa came back from the bathroom, her face was composed, calm. "Are you ready to apologize?" she asked, sliding into her seat. I looked at her, really looked at her. The woman I'd married, the woman I'd trusted, the woman who just lied to my face about a Hickey while planning to cheat on me again. "Actually," I said quietly, "I have something I want you to hear first." Her eyes narrowed. "Jake?" I pulled out my phone, set it on the table between us. "Before I apologize for overreacting,
I want you to listen to this." "What is it?" "Just listen." I pressed play. Her voice filled the space between us. "I can't stop thinking about last night." Her face went white. "God, you're amazing. When can we do it again?" I sat frozen, phone pressed to my ear as my wife's voice, breathy, intimate, filled my head. "He's working late tomorrow night. I'll tell him it's book club. We'll have plenty of time." The couple at the next table had stopped eating. They were staring. When the message ended, the silence was suffocating. Lisa's mouth opened, closed. Her hands were shaking. Where did you get that?" I looked at her. "You left it on my voicemail." "What?" 3 days ago, you called my number by accident, left a 47-second message." Her face crumbled. "Jake, I don't—" My voice was steady, cold. "Don't say you're sorry. Don't say it's not what it sounds like. We both know exactly what it is." She started crying quietly, tears streaming from her face. "I didn't mean for this to happen, but it did. Jake, please." I stood up, dropped 2 20s on the table. "I'm going home. You can come back when you're ready to tell me the truth. All of it." I walked out of that Olive Garden and didn't look back. She came home 3 hours later. I was sitting in the living room, lights off, phone in my hand. I'd listened to the voicemail 14 more times. Each time it hurt a little less. Each time I got a little colder. Lisa stood in the doorway, keys in her hand. "Can we talk?" she asked, voice small. "Sure." She sat on the couch. I stayed in the chair across from her. "His name is Connor. He's a pharmaceutical rep. He comes into the office every few weeks." I said nothing. "It started 6 months ago. Just talking at first, then coffee, then you started banging him." She flinched. "Jake, that's what happened, right? You started sleeping with him, lying to me, telling me you were at book club or working late." She nodded, tears streaming. "I'm so sorry. How many times?" "What? How many times did you sleep with him?"
Looked away. "I don't know. Guess." "Jake, please guess." Her voice broke. 10, maybe 12. I felt something crack inside me. Not my heart. That was already gone. My patience. "Get out," I said quietly. "What?" "Get out of this house tonight." "Jake, we can fix this." "No." I stood up. "We can't. You made a choice. You made it 10 or 12 times, and the only reason you're sorry is because you got caught." "That's not true. You left a voicemail on my phone, Lisa. You pocket-dialed me while you were planning your next hookup. That's not remorse. That's bad luck." She sobbed. "Where am I supposed to go?" "I don't care. Call Connor. Call Rachel. Call whoever you want, but you're not staying here." She stared at me like I was a stranger. Maybe I was. She left that night, packed a bag, drove to her sister's place. I sat in the dark house alone and felt nothing. No anger, no sadness, just empty. The next morning, I called a lawyer. His name was Richard Polson, divorce attorney, came highly recommended. I sat in his office and played him the voicemail. He listened, took notes, then looked up at me. "This is gold," he said. "What?" "Arizona is a no-fault state, but infidelity still matters in asset division and alimony. This voicemail is documented proof of an affair." "So?" "So it means she has zero leverage. She can't claim she was the wronged party. She can't argue for spousal support. She's caught on tape in her own words." He leaned back. "Mr. Morrison, you just made my job very easy." Lisa hired a lawyer, a woman named Karen Diaz. Aggressive, expensive. The first settlement offer came a week later. Lisa wanted the house, half my retirement, $2,000 a month in alimony. I laughed when I read it. Richard sent back a counteroffer. "I keep the house, I keep my retirement, she gets her car and whatever's in her personal accounts. No alimony. Clean break." I signed the papers in Richard's office. He shook my hand. "You did good," he said. "I just didn't let her win." "That's the same thing." 6 months later, I was sitting on my back porch, beer in hand, watching the sunset. My phone buzzed, a text from an unknown number. "Jake, it's Lisa."
Can we talk? I stared at it for a long moment. Then I deleted it, blocked the number, and took another sip of my beer. A year after the divorce, I met someone new. Her name was Rachel. Ironic, I know. She was a teacher, funny, kind, honest. We met at a coffee shop, started talking, exchanged numbers. On our third date, she asked about my ex. "What happened?" she said gently. I thought about lying, making it vague, but I didn't. She cheated, left a voicemail on my phone by accident. That's how I found out. Rachel's eyes widened. Seriously? Seriously? What did you do? I played it for her at Olive Garden in front of everyone. Rachel laughed, not mean, just surprised. Wow, too much? No, she said, reaching across the table to take my hand. That's honest. I like honest. I smiled. Me too. 2 years later, Rachel and I got married. Small ceremony, just family and close friends. No drama, no lies, no secrets. Just two people who chose each other and meant it. I still have the voicemails saved, backed up in 3 places. Not because I'm bitter, not because I want revenge, because it reminds me of something important. Trust your gut. When someone tells you you're overreacting, when they make you feel crazy for asking questions, when they turn your doubt into your fault, that's when you dig deeper. Because the truth doesn't hide. It slips. It leaves voicemails. It shows up in hickeys and late nights and passwords that suddenly change. And when you find it, you don't owe anyone an apology. You owe yourself the truth. Lisa reached out one more time, about a year after the divorce. She sent an email, long, apologetic, asking for closure. I read it once, then I deleted it. Not out of anger, out of indifference. She wasn't part of my life anymore. She was just a chapter I'd closed, and I was writing new ones. If this story hit home, comment, "Trust your gut." If you've ever been told you're overreacting, if you've ever had your instincts dismissed, if you've ever found the truth by accident, this one's for you. Hit subscribe for more stories about the moment everything changed, because sometimes the truth doesn't knock, it pocket dials.